Hello, everyone. Um, this video, I'm going to give you a little bit about or an insight on kind of what my life has been like lately and what I've done in different things during my life that makes me unique as an author. I hope I don't scare you on this tactic because if you read my books, they're very good. Um, well, just to let you know, me, all my life, I sat there and had a problem while I was going through school. I sat there and had dyslexia or a learning problem, which I couldn't spell words right. And in the beginning, I couldn't read right. I had to learn them in a different function or style for I could understand what reading was to me. Over the years, and when I graduated high school, I could barely read. I was in learning disability classes all through school. During my career in the military, I learned to write. I had to take tests. I had to achieve. I took college. I did stuff to make myself better. I function pretty good now, and I'm happy for a spell check on the computer. I can recognize words that are spelled correctly and I know the meaning. But sometimes when I write the word, it comes out backwards or wrong. It's just a problem that I've had. It's kind of like, if you think about it, Stephen King, he had a learning problem. But he is a well-known author with some of the best books in the world that's ever been written. So, just on that note, as far as my health, my being as I'm sitting right now, I'm in fairly good health. I just want to mention this a little bit. I know it's not very important, but it's important to me to let you know for style of this book as you will learn about the author. At the age of 40, I came down with diabetes. A couple years later, I had surgery on my back because I could barely walk. I sat there and came down with, so I got high blood pressure when I was 40. About 42, I had back surgery. 43, I came down with diabetes. I became obsessed. A beast. I was big. I was up to 265 at one time, about 10 years ago. And that was due because I got bipolar, or supposedly what the medical documentation is, what they've got me written down is. I got bipolar affective disorder or schizoaffective disorder. And that's a saying that I speak aloud saying I'm the Messiah, or something has entered me in such a fashion to cause me to outbreak in manic episodes, to react in the relationship of understanding that I'm doing something for God. So I got a disability. They gave me 100% disability and I'm for life. And the reason is because I had manic episodes of being the Messiah. But now, to let you know about my health, so I was big, high blood pressure, diabetes, back surgery, had a neck problem, hiatal hernia, other stuff with me. I sat there and believed in everything that it's going to turn out good, and I'm not going to be thinking about being crippled up in life and what's happening with me. But I did do a change here about 3 months ago. I lost about 40 pounds, and since then my high blood pressure is gone. It's like 112/72, pulse rate 70. My sugar diabetes, I'm not on insulin, I'm not on glipizide or metformin or none of that stuff. I am completely clean of that, and my numbers run right at 100 almost every time I check it. So my diabetes and my high blood pressure are gone because I lost weight. I'm getting in shape. My back, after my back surgery, never affected me. I can jog. I jog every day. I work out every day. My body's in 100% shape. Nothing's affecting me now. And I'm only taking one medicine because of the lithium and the olanzapine. When they had me on that in the beginning to be that for a mood stabilizer for me to control my manic episodes on my disability, that sat there and messed up my thyroid and some other functions within my body. The thing is, I just take a thyroid pill now. I'm not on no medicine. I was on about 10 or 15 different pills at one time. I believe, and things will change. This book, Do You Believe, Is It Real or Fiction, is a good book. It's my first book. It's my life story. It's my autobiography over my relationship and what happened from a child as being born to the time of me having my episode of my manic breakouts, expressing what I believe and why I believe I'm the chosen one. You don't have to believe it, but this book here is a medical documentation for record, precisely to say what a person has if he has bipolar, on how it's related and acted out through the course of a condition. It'll show my condition very clearly. But I also put the New World Order in it at the very end. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to read you the prologue, and then I will read you the ending of the book. Yes, I'm giving you a spoiler, but it's really not. It's just of a New World Order I placed in the very end of it. And it'll give you a little insight of when I thought about this. I wrote this book in 2 sections. I wrote it and finished it in October of 2012 for part 2 of the manic episode of the bipolar first. Then I sat there and wrote the second part of the book, which is the beginning of the book of my life, in 2014, January. I was finished with the book. That's 6 years ago. But I didn't really market it until about 5 years ago. And it's okay. It scores a 5, or not a 5, a 4, on a review. I only had one review done up on this book, so I don't know exactly how good it may or may not be, but I had a lot of different people read it. And out of the people that are reading it, it would average between a 7, 8, 8.5 maybe, for the majority of the people that read it. So it's 7, 8 out of 10. It's my worst, I should say, not so much saying it's bad. It's my first book, and it may not have been the best, but an 8 still isn't bad. Let me read the prologue. This is a real life story. You will read and get an in-depth look of my childhood, family, teen years, the years I spent in the service, running a business, and all the good and bad in my life that I had clear up till I had lost it. Where I was put in the hospital and diagnosed with bipolar affective disorder, schizoaffective disorder. And it all started 40 days before Easter of 2006. having visions and insights into the Bible while making a new law for the people. Also having vibes and connections within the spirits to allow me to believe that the end of the world is upon us. This is a true life story that takes you on a journey which is believed to have come from God. During the second part of the story, I fight against evil or Satan himself, which makes me believe that I may be possibly the Antichrist if I don't do the right thing in order to save the world. I would tell people that I'm the chosen one, Jesus Christ, the second coming, the Messiah, the Son of God, or even the Lamb of God. The story will take you through different events throughout my life than what had occurred to me during this time of my breakdown, the mental ward and their evaluations, the law and different people who I'd come in contact with. I state the dates of asteroid strikes on Earth from my visions, which none had happened. All the scheme of having to protect the people from destruction or doom, of me having to follow through with what is a test from God, which I can't explain. I tried to explain myself being the chosen one of God, but no one will listen. I also dictate the date for a meteorite or asteroid disaster from what I came up with in the Bible, which I say is supposed to hit on the 9th day of November 2012. You will see how I was deemed mentally impaired by what happened to me by the Veterans Administration through Social Security Office to this day where I'm unable to work, and this delusional thought and mental illness of this occurrence. Well, that's the prologue. That gives you a basic story outline of my life and what's to be expected inside the book. I'll read the ending of the book to see what and why I say I was considered the Messiah. I have something that you might like, and it's in 3 of my books. Do you believe, is it real or fiction? The Beepin' Brothers Road Success, and Scott Chally Believes. All talk about the New World Order. And this is a summary when it first started out 6 years ago with an outline. And it has evolved into a perfect order today. There's other videos that you can watch on this that I have on YouTube or on my website. And that would be the video on YouTube called Scott Chally. Then there's a Scott Chally 2 and a 3. They're all in connection with the New World Order. But let me read this. I thought I was done writing on the book, but I had a dream on the 13th of January 2014 at about 1:45 a.m. This dream was meant to tell me and the world what should become the new standard and how we as a society should function. After explaining to someone in my dream what should come about, I was elevated off the ground, floating in the air. This seems strange, but I'll tell you how it went, or what needs to be told. It was about A Services, American Constitution of Economics. How there will be a nation for the world that would have to come up into play. There'll be one nation. All the countries that will or would want to participate would be signed up under A Services and follow the guidelines that has been outlined for A Services. The leadership or how they dictate their country would still be allowed for each existing country that would sign up to participate in A Services. The countries that participate would have the ruling of the people for their laws. Basically what I'm trying to say is that everybody over the age of 18 and registered with A Services would be entitled to what it would cost for living in that area or which he or she lives. This would mean everyone in the world is registered with A Services. A Services would have the access of unlimited amount of money for which they could write $1 gazillion if they need without having to be backed by gold or having to pay back. If the cost of living for an area was $20,000 on an individual, that individual would receive $1,666 per month to their assigned account for the year. This would allow the individual to pay for its housing, utility bills, or any other expenses, food, or in order for an individual to live appropriately. This would help out the people from living in poverty and would reduce crime worldwide. All individuals that receive money from ACE services would still have the ability to perform their own business or work for others. If an individual making $60,000 a year working a job and their cost of living was $20,000 per individual with being married, they would be making $100,000 for total profit. I do not have a degree in economics. I can only foresee a small difference in the economy. If this went into effect, there would be a set baseline for all people to live off of. Extra money made would be just a bonus for each individual living. There could even be a cost of living expense worksheet written up for the family with kids that would be differently than just an individual. You could even take this a step further and eliminate federal, state, and local taxes overall. All government-funded programs, to include school street repairs, could get paid directly from ACE services for the necessity of work for the proposal of money needed for perform such acts. Each government under ACE services could allow more jobs, whether it's for repairing streets, building government jobs, or hiring extra teachers for schools. This will throw more money into the economy to allow it to be a richer and a better civilization to live in, because businesses will profit if taxes were done away with. The common consumer will have more money to spend. As far as health insurance is concerned, I feel everybody should be entitled to receive coverage. I feel ACE services should offer everyone in the world basic coverage for health insurance. If an individual would want to exceed what basic coverage they have for health insurance, they could purchase extra coverage if that was what they wanted. You could take the money from ACE services to pay for natural disasters that may occur around the world. This will allow individuals to ease the stress of disasters, knowing that they can restart their life over and have money to do so. This includes all that I have to say at this time. If you believe in the second coming of Jesus Christ is with us, or speaking of what happened to me to make me believe I'm the chosen one, or to bring the word of God to all of us in this world to set forth a policy I see fit for justice for all. If we the people speak of what we want, we shall have. That was the ending of the book. The very ending. Just to let you know about the basics of the New World Order. You kind of got an understanding. I really put some extreme books out there. Don't let me scare you because I had a learning problem. I don't have that no more. I'll just go over a review of mine from Reader's Favorite of the book, Do You Believe Is It Real or Fiction? You'll kind of have an understanding of what it's like as a review. It was only a 4-star, not the best. I only had one review done on this, but it came back pretty good. Review by Ryan Jordan from Reader's Favorite. Do You Believe Is It Real or Fiction by Scott Chally starts out innocently enough. The main character is just a normal guy from Iowa who has a simple childhood and then has a series of life events that accumulate in him being diagnosed with mental disorder. He begins to see strange truths in the Bible and believes that God's speaking directly to him. He doesn't know, however, if he's supposed to be the good guy in the story or the bad guy. Throughout the work, the narrator details the workings of his mind, for example, citing biblical passages and strings of numbers to show the connections he created between the two as he tried to figure out what the numbers meant. The book reads easily and instantly and incredibly intriguing. People who enjoy mathematics will find several rich and proactive sections sure to delight. And anyone with an interest in reading a story where the main character is struggling to discover reality will also find this to be an interesting and unique read. The narrator, Scott Chally, is wholly believable every man from Iowa that the audience will easily relate to. And the idea behind the novel is to conveyed excellently and with skill, sure to entice readers from all different backgrounds. Do You Believe Is It Real or Fiction by Scott Chally is a brilliant and engrossing novel with an unreliable narrator and full of creative twists that many people will enjoy. That was actually a fairly decent review. It's not my best works, but it's good. I've got 5 books. I'm working on a 6th. It should be out before next year. I had some delayments this summer. I was going to have it done by June, but I put it off. Well, until next time, I love you all. Peace out.